In high school, what was a big memory? Did you go on a senior sneak or something like that?
Oh gosh, yes, we had a good time in high school, and back then basketball was a big thing with us. And of course we had cheerleaders, but we had what we called a drill squad. And I don't remember just how many we girls, and we had purples. Purple was the same back then.
Okay.
We had purple dresses with big white collars that we wore, and Lillian Gooden was our pianist, and she played, and we would do formations.
Okay.
Marching around and
like a military thing.
Yeah, do formations, and we did that at every home game at halftime.
So that was the halftime thing, like the cheerleaders do a halftime show now.
Yeah.
And you had cheerleaders, but what did they do during the game? Did they lead the audience in cheers?
Yeah.
Do you remember any old-time cheers?
Oh, really?
Come on now. Did they have cheers and you guys helped?
1, 2, 3, 4, who are you going to yell for?
And that Fairgrove.
Yeah, and the school song. We had the same school song that we still have.
And I've heard them sing that too.
Yeah.
Do you still remember the words?
Well, yeah, but don't have to.
Okay, I'm not going to.
Anyway, before all ball games, we had a pep rally. Back in the old high school building, we had back then what they called study hall. Everybody in high school would get, and we'd have a pep rally before every ball game, which was a big thing, just before school.
It got everybody excited.
Yeah.
And everybody went to the ball games then, didn't they?
Yeah. And then my folks never did go, but I never missed a ball game. And I went far near on to ball games. And because I could go to a ball game on 50 cents, and if we went certain places, if we went to, back then it was the Greene County League. Republic, Ash Grove, Walnut Grove, and Nixon.
And Springfield?
Well, Nixon wasn't
was Springfield out at too big a school?
No, it was just
country school.
The Green School.
Okay.
And when we come through Springfield, we'd stop at a restaurant on Central Street called Ray Coley's. There you could get a hamburger and a Coke for a dime. And that was a
and you got 50 cents. Did you have money left over?
Well, sure I did. But I think it cost a nickel. We had to pay to get in, down at the ball game. A nickel to get in, and that.
Were there anybody going steady or dating here in Fairgrove when you were in high school? Did you go steady with some boys?
Oh, yes.
And where did you go in Fairgrove? Did you date in Fairgrove? Go up on the hill to something, or?
Where did I date?
Yeah, you go to church together. I'm not going to go down the country road with you.
Oh, women. Don't ask that kind of question.
Well, I mean, did you?
I can't give that away.
I'm sorry. There was up on the hill. There was a cafe. Did you just meet there? That wasn't considered a date.
No.
Okay.
Oh, I went with 2 different boys.
Not at the same time, though.
Well, I don't know. They had a fight over it.
Okay, well. Not every girl could say that.
Well, I get remembered that at club quite often because I told that story, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, Reba had boys to fight over," and neither one of them got me.
Oh really? You went with another boy?
Well, yeah. I went after I got out of school. Anyway.
Well, who were they? Who were the boys that fought over you?
Huh?
Who were the boys?
Do you remember the names of the boys?
Oh yes, I remember Stanley Prater and Jamie Yarbrough. And they're both, Stanley still lives. He's in Texas. Jamie's been gone a long time.
And you graduated in what year?
In 1937.
The war had not started. The Depression was kind of over. Do you remember any hard times during the Depression? Was it something that affected you?
Yes, it was hard during. I remember when I graduated, it was hard. Of course, we had junior, senior prom, but it was hard to have a new dress to wear to the prom and that kind of stuff.
At this time, your dad had opened the Fairgrove Materials Company, which was down here on the corner of Main Street and Old Mill Road on that.
And there wasn't any road that went to the
southwest corner.
Did you make your dresses, or Mom make your dresses?
I made one, and then I bought, my senior year, I got to buy me a dress.
What do you remember doing in the house with your mom? Were you a mama's girl or daddy's girl, or what did you like to do?
Well, I've thought about my childhood. I'm sure that my folks loved me, but I don't remember them ever telling me out and out that they loved me. But I know the things that they did with
Surely.
me and did for me, that they did love me, but and I guess that's why I'm so prone to tell my boys I love them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's important, isn't it? Maybe we've just learned that in the last few years.
Yeah.
Betty and I didn't grow up with parents that told us they loved us.
Yeah.
And they took care of us.
Yeah.
My dad would say, as long as your feet are under my table, you do as I say. And that's the way they presented love
Yeah.
to us.
Yeah, I was sheltered in ways. I was sheltered, but in other ways, I went to.
You weren't as sheltered as some.
No.
Well, the
Were you-
world was safer.
Were you close to your grandparents? Did they live?
Oh, when I was, of course, my grandpa Yandel lived with us for over 20 years
Okay.
after my grandmother passed away.
Were you close to him?
Oh yeah. And,
Did he read to you, or how did you work in the shop with him, or did you go to town with him? Or?
go to town? What do you mean go to town?
Up into into Fairgrove. Walk up into Fairgrove. Did he like to go up into Fairgrove?
No. When my grandmother was living, she was a seamstress.
Okay.
And they had a store there, and every time they'd get a new bolt of material, grandmother would give some of that material, and she'd make me a new dress.
And the store was where?
Where is it? Marty Batson has his store.
Okay.
And Alan Barnes, I think, had the store. And I would go down and cross the mill lot. There was a wooden gate there, and I'd
You would cut across the lot.
cross there and go behind the mill, and there was a little place in there, and then I go around it to Grandpa and Grandma's house. Now that was where it's all gone now. Grandpa and Grandma lived there at the house that burned.
Okay, just kind of back of the mill and just a little bit south.
Back
far from
all
where.
the stroller building.
Not from where. Too far from where Porter Odell lived.
Well, it's right behind
Yeah.
Fort Odell's
Yeah.
place.
And that was the John Beagle place.
Well, yeah.
I think he built it. The guy who built the mill. Do you remember who was operating the mill when you were a child?
King.
Frank King.
Mm-hmm.
And the Wamaks came in there in about 42, I think. And
Yeah,
you
they
were,
came in after I left Fairgrove. Because I was married in 39, the 23rd of December 39, and I didn't move after the boy's daddy died. I moved to Fairgrove in 52.
What happened during World War II? Do you remember when it started?
I remember the day that it happened. We had been up here, Paul and I had been up here to see Daddy and Mother. We lived west of 13 Highway. And there was a grocery store right there at the top of the hill at Noble Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And we turned west and that was the way we went down. And we stopped at that store building, and they told us that war had been declared.
And it was Sunday morning, I guess.
On Sunday.
Yeah.
I remember that well.
And